everybody, this is Chris at Reptiles. Thank you for joining me again on this Wednesday video. Anyways, this question that I'm going to tackle here was asked to me by someone here in town. I answered their question and I thought I'd make a good video. I was asked about a month back and it's been on my schedule to make a video about it. Anyways, before we get started, if you could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That notification bell keeps you in a loop of upcoming videos I have. Anyways, today's question is, should I feed my ball pythons live or frozen? First of all, let's get started on setting up a scenario. So, if I wasn't a breeder and I had pets, if I had like 5, maybe 6, 7, even 10 ball pythons, which I had in the past. That's when I first started out. I just had a couple. I started out with like, I think 2, I went to 5, 7, 10, and I actually did use frozen. Now, if they're just pets and I am not trying to grow them up to be breeders, frozen is the way to go because it's cheaper, it's easy to get a hold of. There's plenty of places online that you can buy frozen rats. Some of the places I choose is Lane Labs, and also Big Cheese and Perfect Prey is where I bought them, and I had good luck with them. I'll give you the reason why I would use frozen. Well, the main number one is cost. The cost effectiveness of having frozen is they're almost like a quarter of the cost of buying live, especially here where I live. I'm not sure where you live. You can get them shipped, you have to pay shipping, but what you want to do is get a good amount, 6 months worth or maybe a year's worth. That's what I was doing at first, getting about 6 months worth at a time and paying that shipping and getting them here. Because if I bought them at the local pet store, they're really expensive. I mean, still cheaper than live, but it's better to buy them in bulk from a rodent place online. There's even a place called Glacier Rodents here. A lot of times when I go to shows, I pick some up from them. Other places are cheaper than them, but when you get the shipping for free when you pick it up at a show, it was fine. To me, their rats are on par with Big Cheese. So the first thing is cost. Number two is you're not trying to power feed them. You're not trying to, I don't power feed my snakes, but I do feed them once a week. So a lot of times when you do frozen, you don't want to, like say you have 10 snakes, you want to unthaw like 7 because not everyone's going to take one and you don't want to waste them. That's one thing good I have. When I was doing it, I had a monitor. So if they didn't eat them all, I feed them to the monitor. But a lot of people don't have a monitor. And so what happens if it's unfrozen, you can keep it maybe in the fridge for a couple days, try it out, but if not, you throw it away. So I only unfroze, I had 10 snakes, I unfroze 7, and 99% of the time, they would take all those. Now, as a pet, I don't have to worry about them, eating as much, because snakes can go days, months without eating, and it won't hurt them. So every snake that I had when I first started out eventually went to frozen. Does that mean all snakes will? No, there might be 1 or 2. There was one when I bought would not go to frozen at all, so I'd go down and buy 1 medium at the pet store. And ironically, when I first started, there actually was a pet store here in Yakima I didn't know about. I was driving to Ellensburg to get it. That's another thing, was where you live, there might not be a lot of live rats. That's one reason why I do pretty well with rats. I do sell and breed rats, is because a lot of places like Seattle and Tri-Cities, they don't have a pet shop that actually sells live rats. That's why I do pretty good with them. But here in town, I don't try to stomp on anybody else's territory. There is a gentleman here that sells live rats, and I don't really sell live rats in town. I only do frozen. After that long ramble, what I'm saying, number 2 is that you don't have to have your snakes eat all the time if they're pets, because they're just pets, and if they don't go weeks without eating, it's not a big deal. Where as a breeder like me, I want to feed them more often. I want to give them once a week so I can get them up to breeding size. I don't power feed them, but I do give them every 7 days to eat. And when you give them live, they eat a lot faster. I hardly ever have them turn down live. They do turn down frozen a lot more. But then again, if you don't defrost that many, you're okay. And if they don't eat, it's no big deal. Number 3 is that there is a lot of places to choose from, so it's pretty easy to pick them up. Sometimes it's hard to get certain sizes, but if you order in advance, and like if I said you only have 7 or 10 snakes, it's not that hard to keep them in your freezer, little section for your freezer of rats for your snakes. So there's so many different places you can buy them from. There's a few places I personally wouldn't buy them from. I'm not going to say on here. I named some places that's worth buying them from. So definitely, if I just had pet ball pythons, me personally, I would do frozen. Even if I had like up to 10, 12, 15, because if they don't eat that day, it's no big deal. I'll defrost some rats, try to feed them, and next day I'll try to feed some more. And it's not like I'm trying to do it like on a timely matter. I'm just trying to get my pets to eat, keep them alive. That's the thing. And the good thing is they don't have to eat all the time. So definitely, if you're just doing them as pets, I recommend frozen. Do I still buy frozen? I do still buy frozen. I do buy frozen mice. Like I said before, I do breed rats, and I do not breed mice. Mice stink worse than rats. I tried it for about a week, and I got rid of them. I actually fed them off because I do not like the smell of mice. I do not like them at all. And this is a side note: if you're planning on breeding your snakes and you have hatchlings, don't start them out on mice. I mean, maybe the first meal is okay. I know people that use like little mice because they crawl more than rats. But I have 2 snakes down there that I bought from people that start out with that start with mice, and they refuse to eat rats no matter what I do. I finally got one to start eating ASF rats, but the other one refuses nothing but mice. And it can be frozen, it can be any way, but he only eats mice, period, and that's all there is. So that's a good thing if you're planning on breeding, is try rats, stick with rats. So me personally, I have over 40 ball pythons and a bunch of other snakes. And I still do feed frozen that I grew to some snakes like my boas, and all my colubrids, my hognose, all them, because it don't matter what I throw in there. I could probably throw a hot dog and they'd eat it. Not that I would throw a hot dog in there, but they are not picky. My carpets, they'll eat anything frozen. It don't matter. But ball pythons do eat a lot better with live. I mean, I have 40 plus ball pythons down there, and I have one rack completely full of ball pythons, and then I have another rack that's got some in there. I also got 4 more coming here pretty soon. I'm trying to fill 2 racks full of ball pythons. That's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to go up to 80 breeders, but it's too hard to keep them fed and keep them growing with frozen. When I had like 6 or 7, I'd sit there, boop their nose with the mouse, and get them to eat. And it took about anywhere from 5 to 10, 15 minutes to get them to eat. Nowadays, I don't have that much time when I'm feeding 40 plus snakes to do that. I just drop the mouse in the bin, let it close. And in a half hour, I come back and make sure they ate it. Only once in the blue moon will I find a live rat in there, but usually that's how I feed them. It's so much easier, and they're more likely to take the live rat. Again, I don't have any joy killing rats. We have pet rats. We love rats. My daughter has one named Peaches, which I've shown in other videos. She is her baby. They make great pets. Unfortunately, ball pythons make great pets too, and they need to eat. So, I mean, it's a necessary evil that you gotta learn to live with if you are into ball pythons. But hope that answers your question. If you are a breeder and you have lots of snakes, live is definitely the way to go. Now, trying to find a live dealer where you are, it's kind of hard in some places. Like here, it's not too bad, but I also grow my own. But the one thing about frozen, if you have a few snakes, it's easier to find. Anybody will ship them to you, and it's super easy to get. And you can have them shipped to your house, and you put them in your freezer, and you just defrost them as you need them. Anyways, guys, if I can get you to check out some of these videos right here, also hit that like button, and I will see you next time.